welcome to Elliott's podcast. Acoustic edition. I did an acoustic edition a few weeks ago, and I'll do it again because I'll explain in a bit why it works well for me right now. Thank you to the non-existent audience in person. I sometimes play. I try to play. I'm in my bedroom right now. Every time I do a podcast, it's a chance to try out different things. It's all a big game of technology. It's a tech play. Last time I did this setup, I recorded two pieces, one with the nylon guitar and one with this steel string. And I had two cameras, and one camera was this one that you see. One camera view was this side angle, and another was in the front. It's really tough to work in the bedroom because I'm in a corridor. I did a lot of episodes in this corridor, and to set up gear here is really tricky, but I think the beauty of it is also the constraints of, I know that if I'm going to record a podcast in this area that I'm not going to bring computer stuff over here. And the other reason is Teddy, the dog. I think when I added a guitar stand into the studio office, and it's a 3 guitar stand, so there's less room in there, and he gets really worked up in that room quickly because it's near the front door. And so if I'm going to record a podcast, it's kind of, I want him to be settled, hopefully. And for the past few weeks, he wouldn't settle down in there really. In the space, there wasn't a lot of space. So, and I feel bad because it is nighttime. So I know he stays calm in the bedroom. He's on the bed on the other side. And it's the funny thing about doing this recording with him here is that he, without fail, he'll always, just as he's quiet, he's settled down, and just at that moment he'll come up with something new. Like right now he's licking himself, his paws, and I have sensitive microphones, so it's technically in the recording. But just before, when I was setting things up, he was basically sleeping, like without moving. So that's funny. But the other funny thing is that when I play music here, I'm kind of, and this camera angles don't show it, but I'm technically playing to a bedside, as if I'm sort of babysitting. And I've kind of realized lately that that's kind of a role that I guess I'm psychologically taking on in playing music is that, maybe you can hear him now, is that I'm technically babysitting, and I don't really know how to phrase it in the most elegant way, but I guess if we approach it from the lens of like that everyone's a complete mess, and we need ways of calming each other down a bit. That's sort of what I mean, is that I play the music as a way of helping create a sense of calm, or maybe a sense of sanity, maybe a sense of insanity too. Like I can't say that everything I play makes someone make sense of things or calms people down, and I guess that's the tricky part for me in my music is that I don't have the discipline to just do one thing, and my music is always in flux. And I've talked about it in the past because in the core of the winter, December-ish, I released, November and December 2021, I released 2 like funky jammy tracks, and then last one was Silent Sid, which was ambient doom jazz, so kind of dialed back into my pocket. But who knows, I could do anything really. I'm sort of like the lone wolf tenor. I don't know if you remember that meme. a tenor at a I don't know if it was at a Super Bowl show. the tenor singer like went off and said something, and they call him the lone wolf tenor. I'm kind of like that because I can be sort of erratic in my decisions to what I release and what I make. But the core of the whole point here is that it really is. I do sometimes take on this persona of the babysitter and just saying, okay, people, I know the world is a mess, but we're going to do this music stuff anyways. And it's been fun. It's been a fun journey. I mean, we're quite a few releases in here under this project. I've probably hit 50 by now. I'm not counting. I think once you start counting, you start, when you get into that kind of game of like counting and how many releases have I done, I don't know. I think you lose sight of the art of playing and just continuing to sit down and make more. And I will admit right now, I've definitely, I was close to getting some writer's block lately. I pulled through. I sometimes I'd pile on too many ideas. But thankfully I was able to, and it was actually this week where I sort of stripped it back in my mind, and I said, what's the simplest form of music for me right now? And that led me to a new track, and then that led to another track. So I'm quite happy that happened. And I guess I convey that advice to you, is that I mean, every day we have to sit down and say, what's the most simplest way I can do my work? I sort of have a joke, because I used to work in a marketing department, and sometimes it felt like the process of setting up a marketing campaign. Oh, here he is. Here's Teddy. It was only going to last so long that I knew he's in a rambunctious mode, and now he's climbing up on me. We would have a marketing campaign would be like what is called a Rube Goldberg machine, which is the Rube Goldberg machine is the diagrams. I don't know what era they made them in, but that, like, you drop a marble in, and then it does this and this and this and this, and then I think the joke was that nothing really happens. What is he doing? Okay, he's just in a licking mood, Teddy. And so the sometimes we get in these Rube Goldberg machines with our work, and it can be as simple as with your creative process for how in my case, it's often about how I sit down to make music. We can really overcomplicate things. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to parlay that, and the theme, this acoustic guitar is tuned to open tuning, and that's sort of I would say open tuning is a way of making it easy. It's also called slack tuning as well, because you're letting certain strings down, I believe. And how can you put a slack tuning in your work and just make it a bit easier? And I've really enjoyed working with this open tuning. This guitar stays in it. It's actually not just an open tuning, it's tuned lower by a few notes. So it actually took like a week or two for this guitar to hold the tuning in this tuning. And it's actually also my first guitar that I've ever owned, which is every time I play it, I'm quite proud that I've been able to keep this guitar and make new use for it, and it has a very loud sound, which makes it loud and metallic, bold sound. So it's quite interesting, that because usually you'd think a first guitar would not hold up very long, because it's really not worth that. It wasn't. I don't think we paid that much for it. But I'll play one more, and then that'll be it for this episode. So, okay, thank you. Okay, thanks so much. This is Elliott's podcast, and yeah, patreon.com/ I guess Feinberg. But ElliotFeinberg.com, and you find me on all the socials. Okay, now take care. See you soon.